Welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Thursday, April 2nd, 2020, and my week of swim trunks and jerseys continues. I've got another jersey on today. I'll have another for tomorrow. How are you guys doing? That's my thing today. You guys have a thing? Coronavirus?
Yeah, we didn't cover the article, but I think Charles sent it to us at like Walmart or one of the major retailers. Their sales of tops have shot through the roof, but bottoms, bottoms are declining.
You don't need a bottom when you're in quarantine.
Or if you're on a Zoom call.
Yeah, I've been wearing a lot of athletic shorts, but a lot of tie-dye shirts too. So Will's doing jerseys. I made tie-dye shirts this past weekend, like with the tie-dye. So I've been wearing homemade tie-dye shirts. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah. That's like your agnostic Easter.
Right.
Wes, have you stayed home?
Same thing.
I had to go to the grocery store today. I was out of, my big bottle of water. So I needed to go get that. Then I went on a little walk and a bike ride with the little guy with his bike that's, about 3 years too small for him. So that was,
Yeah, it's a little bike. I know the bike you're talking about. It's a little bike.
So no, that's at least two things. Anything else?
No, that was it.
I thought.
Oh, I went to Walmart. I did go to Walmart because he needed a protractor for school. So
come on.
And then
you're getting individual items from school. You're getting individual items from the grocery store.
Yeah,
you're going on walks.
I had to
daily.
get a protractor. Eventually, I printed one out and just cut it out of like photo papers that he could use for his homework. But I feel okay.
Yeah, because you're getting out.
Good. Yeah.
I thought that the cases of the virus in Austin, well, they did. They spiked when those assholes came back from spring break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but then they double spiked today and are now.
That's how it works.
That's what happens. Yeah, now it's going to continue.
Yeah. You're just now experiencing what everybody else experienced last week. So
yes.
So just get used to the doubling. It's going to continue for a couple days, and then eventually it'll probably level out. But we'll see. And that's a lot of what we're talking about today. Obviously, coronavirus-related news, but a lot of these stories are funny, and I think they're all good. Wes, get us going.
All right, everyone. Guess what? They are who we thought they were. And by they, I mean China. And by thought they were, I mean we thought they were hiding the real numbers of coronavirus cases and deaths in their country. And now it has been confirmed by a classified report and U.S. officials that, yes, China has been lying to its citizens and the rest of the world about the impact that COVID-19 has had on its country. So, yeah, we heard the reports of mass heat signals coming from Wuhan, which led people to believe they were burning bodies by the dozens. Reports of a shit ton of urns being purchased by funeral homes, which is true. Well, guess what? Those reports now make a lot more sense. So, according to the official coronavirus case numbers, China has reported not even 82,000 cases and just over 3,300 deaths at the time of this recording. Compare that to other countries that we've been have been shocking us with their numbers, like the U.S., where total cases is now over 215,000, deaths over 5,100, and Italy and Spain, who are jostling for Europe's most stricken countries with a combined 215,000 cases and almost 23,000 deaths. And you start to wonder, how was the country where this bastard started and where it is documented to have been kept under wraps? You remember the doctor who eventually died of the virus and was trying to be the whistleblower.
Right. Bet he's not on the tally sheet.
Nope, right. How did they manage to keep their deaths and cases lower with all those people? And it seems the answer is they fucking didn't. They are lying their asses off, as pretty much the whole world had suspected.
Wuhan, Donnie said Wuhan is like something like 5 million people or something crazy.
Yeah.
It was in a public bullshit.
Well, and they were locked down in that city for months and months. I mean, I think the lockdown started in January,
but it
right?
spread. It was also there was the Chinese
December.
New Year, so people were coming in from all over the place, going to other parts of China. I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's a lot
they
worse
got
than
they got like 10 New Yorks over there. It's
right,
like
that's what I'm
maybe
saying.
Like 15 New Yorks.
Exactly, Pat.
Well, and
that's
they still are on lockdown. And when they tried to go off lockdown, it didn't even work out well. I'd seen on Barstool that they uncanceled and then recanceled the Chinese basketball
which is what we're worried
season.
about, like getting out of lockdown too early, and then it's like round 2 of
Thank you for clarifying. It's not Chinese basketball that we're worried about at all.
Well, no, but I mean, that's an allegory for the leagues that we are concerned about over here. So.
Right,
real basketball.
It's an indicator. So Wes, you mentioned it was from a classified report. that was kind of leaked. Something tells me no heads are going to roll from the U.S.
Yeah, nobody's really upset.
Intelligence department that this leaked. I bet like they were just like calling like everyone they knew in the press and were like, "Yo, you got to fucking see this report."
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they shared it with, with the senators and obviously the president and all of his, coronavirus team, Mike Pence. People know it was in the report, but it is classified. There were 3 officials that, of course, can't be named. They're really not sure how they got the research, whether or not they flew over there and like infiltrated China and kind of asked around, or how it was, or they got someone on the inside, which hopefully they do.
The U.S. probably has nobody living in China that works for them, is my guess.
Right, exactly.
But, yeah.
It'd be hard.
Yeah,
because you're taller than everyone. I mean, it's pretty easy.
We probably don't do stuff like that.
Nah, I think we shoot pretty straight when it comes to China.
Who's the spy? Is it the tall guy? It's probably the tall guy. But do you know, Wes? Did the article say, or the articles you read on this, did it say that it was a classified document in terms of China classified, or it was an American classified document?
It was American classified. They still really don't know the extent as to which China has lied. There's really no way of telling because they're not fucking giving us the right information. This is based on just our kind of, looking at what's happening and the actual numbers coming out of there and our sources, like, just people that are on the inside.
Yeah, the findings were basically that you can't know.
Yeah.
Then it's not based on what you can see. Because
exactly.
what you can see is a much larger death toll.
There will be a fallout of this, of what happens with China. How does the UN, how does the U.S. treat China?
Everybody. Right. I mean, the world, all the nations.
It's too early for that because people
impacted,
are dealing. Yeah, people are dealing with solving the
well,
cases and the deaths. But there is like one senator in the U.S. that's already like trying to take action against.
Yeah, Howley from Missouri. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get into this
last week, I think, is when
it was last week.
A little bit later in the show, we're going to discuss this, but it begs a major question, which is, why the fuck would you lie? It's a global pandemic. You know what? Like, maybe China was lying initially because they didn't know it was going to get so fucking bad. Like, if you're the only country that has it, you don't want to be.
That's probably part of it. I mean,
but now it's like, get the fucking info out, bro. Let's save lives.
Have you ever done something so bad, or like, I'm not done something is not the right terms, but like something so bad, right? Like that your first reaction was, I probably shouldn't tell anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. It's like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to get to it later, but I mean, it's kind of like almost like biological warfare. You can almost consider it biological warfare because, they knew it was coming after us, and they fucking didn't tell us how much we should prepare for it. I'll get to it. So, commenting on the new report, the coronavirus czar, an alleged homophobe, Vice President Mike Pence, said, quote, "The reality is that we could have been better off if China had been more forthcoming. What appears evident now is that long before the world learned in December that China was dealing with this, and maybe as much as a month earlier than that, that the outbreak was real in China," which, obviously.
Yeah.
Republicans.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry. It just lines up with the timeline. This kind of, to me, it reminds me of like Russian election interference. Remember in 2016 where people were like, no way, after it becomes formal that it did happen. It's like it was kind of obviously happening at the time. Like, because the timeline from Wuhan was that it first broke out in like November or something. So for them to not really consider it anything enough to tell anybody till like 2 months later, or a month and a half at least, that's far.
It's kind of fucking dumb too, because they own TikTok, and like this has been huge for TikTok. Like, think about the interests, man. Like, if everyone self-quarantined earlier, be a lot more fucking TikToks out there now than there are now.
Yeah, they fucked up. They
fucked
up
big time.
If you remember, it was called COVID-19, which really confused Pat. He was like, "Why isn't it called COVID-20?" It's because
exactly right. Yeah. Everybody's wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Republicans are pissed because of the fact that reporting suggests China has less cases than the U.S., which of course makes President Trump look like is bad and is being used as ammo by the left, like he's not doing his job well enough. But guess what? Probably not.
One
the case.
time he doesn't want to have the largest number.
Right, exactly. But guess what?
Smallest number.
Yeah,
it's tiny. You wouldn't believe how small this thing is.
Yeah, I mean, we're just being honest about this shit. So probably not the case after all. And Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska, who read the classified report, said, quote, "The claim that the United States has more coronavirus deaths than China is false. Without commenting on any classified information, this much is painfully obvious. The Chinese Communist Party has lied, is lying, and will continue to lie about the coronavirus to protect the regime." And And then Deborah Birx, who's the State Department immunologist who has been, advising President Trump on how to handle this pandemic, basically said, and I'm paraphrasing in my own words, the way China lied about what was coming for us basically fucked us because we didn't know how big the monster that was coming really was. They said it was a 100-foot monster with fangs, and really it was a 500-foot monster that can breathe fire. So that affected how the whole world prepared itself for this bastard. And, China fucked us. And now the U.S. is accusing other nations like Iran, Russia, Indonesia of the same thing. And hey, just FYI, North Korea has not had a single case of this virus.
Pat's got a country coming up.
Oh, we're gonna hear this, and we're gonna hear about this country, and it doesn't make sense, guys. It doesn't make fucking sense.
and the Belarus president. There's a lot of countries over in that part of the world, Wes.
Exactly.
But you know what? Yes, China absolutely fucked us. There's going to be a fallout. People are going to be really pissed, and they should. But we wouldn't have fucking listened. We wouldn't have fucking listened.
Right. Well,
it doesn't matter. They could have told us the true numbers. We wouldn't have fucking cared or listened.
It's like HPV.
Until it was here. No, we wouldn't have.
We would have done a little. We could have prepared more. Yeah.
I doubt it. I
Not
think
really.
they should have been honest. They should have been honest, but I'm with Mark. I think people still would have been like, well, that's still over
It's
in
over
Asia.
there.
It's not here.
It's not going to affect
Not here.
us. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it sucks because we offered to send our experts over there when we first learned of this about back in December. Pompeo said they refused. Now we know why. We should have known why. I think that's
Stay
on
at
us. I think that's on us that we trusted them for that long. But what can you do now?
For sure. That's another part, Wes. Is like we got to be like if we're able to find out that the numbers are faulty this quickly, we have to be a little bit looking in the mirror like, well, we could find that out pretty fucking easy.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we have known the facts a little bit sooner?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think for a global pandemic with some warning signs, we should have paid a little closer attention.
Yeah, like them
to it.
kicking American journalists out of China from our leading publications. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
My point being though that we didn't react quick enough to finding out the information in China. They fucked us. Time went on. We got to focus on fixing it now. There will be time.
Now, all you can
take
do
your
is
time.
do the best you can.
All
now.
the brains and all the resources need to go into fixing it. Now you know it's a 500 thing with fangs.
Yeah.
After, then you can deal with China. But no one should be like dealing with China right now.
It doesn't
Right,
fucking matter if they admit
Yeah.
that they lied now. It's at our door. It's in our backyard.
Gotta
We
fix
have
it
to
first.
we got to fix it. I mean, the only thing that could do anything here is that Republicans may be able to shield some of the heat from the Democrats that say Trump didn't act fast enough and are trying to politicize mass death. But now they can just blame it all on China. And when asked to comment on the report, Trump said he doesn't really know how much they fudged the numbers, saying, as far as the numbers, I'm not an accountant from China. He also said.
Right. Yeah, they use those Chinese numbers over there.
He also said that the numbers coming from Beijing seem to be a little on the light side and raised hopes by saying we are going to have a couple of weeks starting pretty much now that, especially a few days from now, that are going to be horrific. So he's warning us that we've got some horrific days ahead of us, which sucks.
Yeah, I don't even want to mention the number that they predicted of death.
Oh, I'm about to. I'm about to, Mark. So the latest projections, depending on how much you want to scare yourself, the best case scenario, only 100,000 deaths in the U.S.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, 2.2 million. So we got to stay inside. For sure. I have to stay inside for sure. And I got to, I was going to ask you guys at the end, I mean, is it an act of biological warfare by China to withhold this information and let it, fuck the world, essentially, and not let the world prepare itself as well as they could have by not releasing the actual numbers?
You're asking our opinion?
I'm asking your opinion, yes. Could you consider it biological warfare?
It's too early to tell.
I think it's a huge mistake. It's a strong. The term you're using, biological warfare, is extremely strong term, and the only people who are going to be able to decide that is the UN.
Yeah.
So
I don't think all the information's
out
out there yet, Wes. I think there's still more information to find. I think it's too early to tell. It seems to me kind of like a Chernobyl thing, except they didn't put the lid on it.
I mean, if someone's backyard catches on fire and they watch it burn, and then the neighbor's house catches on fire, aren't they?
No, it's inexcusable that they lied so much about the numbers. It seems like a huge amount.
They need to be, dealt with.
Yeah, right.
They need to be dealt with some way or the other. I don't know if biological warfare is the right term yet.
No, I think Wes is saying, is this biological war for them not telling us?
Yeah,
Right,
I don't know.
that's the
I don't know.
question,
I don't know. Like if the people that were supposed to be the people telling us had all the information. What was the chain of command? Were people telling people no, purposely don't tell them? Like, we don't have all the information yet.
I think that's absolutely true that they were telling people.
Here's what's going to happen, guys. Absolutely fucking nothing, because China literally stole like $50 to $100 billion from U.S. businesses about 5 years ago.
Yeah, but we owe them like 79 gazillion in the debt, so we could just
got a lot of our.
We can just not fucking pay them the debt. Yeah.
Perspective-wise, guys, $2.2 million would be the entire city of Boston, the entire city of Kansas City, and the entire city of Detroit at least gone.
Million people. I thought you were talking about money. Oh, god damn it! Can we move on from the deaths?
All right, guys. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. This next one's good.
Okay.
2 million? No. It would be. That's not that many cities.
2 million.
685,000 in Boston proper. 673,000.
What are those 1983
numbers?
Proper.
I'm talking about proper. I'm not talking about the entire market. I'm talking about the city proper.
So you're talking about like 5 city blocks?
Yes.
Like with an eye shot of the state capitol?
Suck a dick. Bad news.
Be that many cities.
It is for proper. Like the
Austin area is like 2 million people.
I didn't say area. I didn't say area. Well, I said the actual city. That's my point. Okay. I'm not talking about the metro area.
Central Texas is just 2 million people.
Bad news for the people of Turkmenistan, or should I say, news for the people of Turkmenistan.
Oh damn!
Yeah, they got it rough over there. The former Soviet Union nation has banned the media from using the word coronavirus or COVID-19 and has threatened harsh punishments for anyone in the country caught talking about the global pandemic. And this is most certainly going to lead to a large portion of the population having only one hand when this thing is over, which, if you think about it, could actually be a great way to prevent the spread of the disease. So maybe they're onto something.
There you go. One hand and no tongues.
Yeah, exactly. Can't kiss with no tongue. They're essentially handling coronavirus in the way that like a homophobic father handles his son being gay, like complete and total denial. Like, I don't want to ever hear you talking about another boy's body unless he's a teammate and you're critiquing his performance. Yeah, it's just like just a moratorium on talking about corona.
Yeah, you're spot on with that analogy.
How do you enforce that though? You can enforce it in public if a cop hears you talking about it, but
well, yes, and they have plainclothes police officers at bus stations, in lines, in public places, and no media is allowed to speak about it.
Just listening around, like
just listening, because it's not like they have better things to do with their time to maybe fix Turkmenistan.
Yeah, it's like North Korea. It's exactly like North Korea.
So it is. It's the same exact thing.
I thought the Belarus president was taking a tough stance. He just wants you to drink and be merry and just, if you die, you die. If you die standing, it's better than dying on your knees. But he at least admits it's a possibility. Turkmenistan.
Not in Turkmenistan. No, it's not possible. It doesn't exist.
But I like the Belarus's argument better too. He's like, if you can't see it, it's not real. So
right. He's like, party on. Wash your hands a little bit.
The Turkmenistan people, they're kind of admitting it's real by refusing to talk about it.
Well, and the interesting thing, Will, is we'll get to it. All right. So according to the French media watchdog group Reporters Without Borders, the Turkmenistan government made sure the word COVID-19 was removed from health information brochures that were distributed in schools, hospitals, and workplaces, which makes me curious. What the fuck did the brochures even say?
They don't need that information.
Right.
What do they say now?
You may notice many of your friends and neighbors dying suddenly in the coming months, but pay no attention to them. This is their wish. This is what they...
No, they're not going to say. They're like, use a Band-Aid if you get a cut, and
No, well, I took a peek at the fucking brochure. It's essentially a hand-washing brochure that won't address that there's actually a fucking pandemic going around.
Yeah, it's a hand-washing thing that's like replaced COVID-19 information with take care of town cat if you see it.
Exactly.
The flu's really bad this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And guys, it's not just a moratorium on information. The government has forbidden the people of Turkmenistan from wearing face masks of any kind under threat of jail time, which makes me feel at least not so bad that it's not October, because that would completely ruin Halloween.
What are they trying to cull people over there?
That is crazy.
That's bad.
It's bad, guys.
What's their stance on condoms?
I don't know. They need as many people as they can get in that country, so I'm guessing probably no.
Yeah.
President Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, look at that fucking word, has ruled Turkmenistan since 2006 and refers to himself as Turkmenistan's archidok, or protector. And before he completely banned the C word, he suggested that the virus can be easily treated with herbal remedies that are all outlined in his 2013 book, Herbal Remedies of Turkmenistan, Volume 5.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy's going to rule until one of his son kills him.
Yeah, they got to take this guy out.
Yeah.
So, wait. So he says you could cure it with an herbal remedy, but then it doesn't exist, though. You're not
Right. So, Will, this that's a good point. And once I heard he was promoting his book in the early days of Corona, I think that I have a theory on why he's doing this now, and that is no one was buying his book, and it made him very sad. So he thought, I'll show them. They'll be begging for my book before this is over. I think that's probably what it was.
And when you're a president in a developing nation, you can go ahead and just enforce that.
Exactly. But seriously, what the fuck are they worried about? Like bad PR? Do they know that they're Turkmenistan?
Well, how is it Volume 5? What are they changing in the herbal remedies?
I don't know, man.
Nothing, right? Just the number
They're
from
just
4 to 5.
perfecting it just a little bit more.
There's no way he's changing the Turkmenistan remedies from Volume 4 to 5.
The
I was
difference
wrong
between
about this remedy.
Four and five is the number.
Off with his head. Give me more lavender.
But what? Like seriously, why though? Like why? Why?
Did you read the Turkmenistan? I'm actually pretty.
I want to get it.
I'm into the Turkmenistan potions.
Can you get it on Amazon?
Yeah, you can get it.
Fuck
what if they work? All right, well,
we should read one like once a week.
we should at least read one for what they like their flu or whatever.
Yeah.
That
Do you think that someone took the time to translate it?
Sure.
I'm sure there's got to be somebody.
Why?
What do they speak in Turkmenistan?
That's a good question.
I'll look that up.
It's a good question. We need
Well-
some help.
Yeah, we need some help. But is that Pat? You done on that one? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm interested in the potions, and we're talking about another story very related. So I'm glad I'm going in this order. So
Turkmen, Will. They speak Turkmen over there.
Turkmen.
Real original.
Well, we would have to figure out how to translate that Turkmen potion recipe. So, one day off the craze of the My Pillow guy setting the internet on fire by giving away some masks made in his pillow factory, and then the debate over whether they're N95 or not, and then all the rest of it about his everything else, turns out may not matter at all, since America may need all the masks that we can get our hands on. And that is because the CDC is considering updating its public guidelines about the use of masks to dampen the spread of the coronavirus from mostly asymptomatic individuals. So I tried to read as much about this topic as I could, and this is pretty much what I gathered on the main takeaways about masks and the coronavirus in general. Is that
They're back. Masks are back.
masks
They're good.
will probably be back after they update these guidelines, but here's the nitty-gritty of it. The N95 masks, which are the ones that hospital workers need to wear, are the only ones that can stop you from breathing in the virus in a contaminated area. So those are the only ones that you shouldn't buy if you're a citizen, basically. You don't really ever need that. The people at the hospital need that. Unless you're someone who's like going to go somewhere where you might get infected, like super high risk area.
What about an Instacart worker?
Right. Instacart worker, maybe somebody like that. A delivery driver might want an N95 mask. People want latex gloves. That would be a good situation if you're going to be in a lot of unknown environments. But for the average person walking around, probably not your best.
Do you guys
use of
remember
money.
when we first did our first story on coronavirus, and that guy on Twitter called Mark an idiot because he was like, "What you can only use a mask to prevent you giving coronavirus to someone, not you getting it."
Well,
That's been the thought until really this article.
I've heard that spoken
no,
before.
No. Nothing in this is new. I think it's actually more about our stockpile. Because
you're a couple of things we'll get to it, Will, but also the N95 sound like a one-way mirror, like a police mirror, like you can.
Yeah.
Well, now the only mask I want is an N95.
But workers still, it has to be sealed so tightly to the face.
Yeah, I got to shave my fucking beard.
People still get it through that mask. It's not foolproof. It doesn't block hospital workers from getting it. It just is the only thing that if you're breathing through it, theoretically it'll stop you from breathing in the virus. However, all face masks, Pat, like that listener a long time ago was saying, including the light surgical kind, significantly dampen the spread that you yourself can infect people with. And that's like steroids for herd immunity. Because like herd immunity, when people are immune, then they become blockers. Well, basically, people are considering that a lot of the spread is from asymptomatic people because you don't have symptoms for the first 5 days when you're still infecting others, and you may never have symptoms altogether if you're healthy.
That's exactly it.
So basically, wearing any mask at all, covering, scarf, whatever. Trump said scarf at his press conference the other day. You can wear bandanas, whatever. Does help to dampen the spread from people who aren't showing symptoms, and that can really help reduce it. In SARS studies, it's been very effective.
That's exactly it. That person that was like, you're only supposed to wear it if you have it, and so you don't give it to other people. But the thing is, most people that have COVID, most people that have it don't know they have it. So if everyone wears a mask, or most people wear masks when they go out in public, it helps prevent the spread.
Yep, exactly. And the CDC definitely could not recommend any mask as a standard practice for all citizens at first, when these guidelines first started coming out, because we have a complete deficiency of all types of masks in the United States. The stockpile is empty for everything, and it's just now starting to be refilled in our biggest time of need. So not really, when the CDC is going to make a decision on when they're going to say you should probably try to wear a mask, we don't know. But Fauci already said it couldn't hurt if everybody was trying to cover their mouths up. So I already ordered some camo face masks on Amazon because they were all sold out of all the surgical shit.
I ordered masks 5 weeks ago. They're coming this week.
Also, those camo masks are going to look a lot cooler.
I'm getting 40 if you want some. I'll hand them out. I think
would love
mine
a
are
couple.
washable.
I would love a couple.
Washable. I'm going to look like a robber when I wear them.
My wife works for Instacart, though. She has to go out and deal with this, so I'm not. Yeah.
Maybe this sheds some question on the big question of the show, which is why did China and these other dumb countries shut the fuck up? Well, most of our masks are made in China, and China stopped exporting masks.
Yeah.
That's one reason we're having a shortage.
Yeah, that's true.
Some masks that are available are like the Point Break bank robber masks, like the president.
That's the kind I'm going with, except it's
president mask, like Reagan.
Ex-president. Oh, not the president, right?
Yeah,
you
like
could get those.
Yeah.
They got skulls. You get all kinds of cool shit. All right, now I got some bad news about masks before it gets good again. So here's some madness. In Hilton, New York, 4 teens were arrested after beating a woman and robbing her in the parking lot of a Family Dollar earlier this week, allegedly because she was wearing a coronavirus mask because she was being targeted. According to the woman, the group of kids told her that she was infected with the coronavirus while they were inside the store. Then, once she left the store and got into the parking lot, they quickly punched her in the face, stole her keys, and drove the car away.
They got into her coronavirus-infected car and
and punched her in the coronavirus mouth.
Most criminals are still on this thing is they're on the Belarus Turkmenistan train. This thing is
This is like I remember I went to I took a handgun training course from a very dangerous company where a lot of people die. Apparently, I didn't know this till afterwards. It's called Tactical Response. It was a great course for me. But every time you drew your weapon, they would tell you to say halt or stop what you're doing. And essentially, what that is it's plausible deniability for if you shoot someone and then get charged. So that's what these kids were doing. They wanted to steal the car,
right?
And they were like, "You got coronavirus."
It's because you have coronavirus.
Exactly, right. But it was really just about the car.
They thought they were going to get some sympathy.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, not great criminals because they were tracked down right away and caught by the cops within hours, where the 4, Rocco and Alexis Gingello, Taya O'Connor, and Nicholas Henderson, they were all arrested within hours. All 4 were charged with second-degree felony robbery. Henderson was also charged with fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon and several driving charges. But the plot thickens. The one kid, Rocco Gingello, is so proud of gang-beating a defenseless woman and stealing her car that he's changed his Facebook profile pic to be the mugshot from the arrest. So basically, yeah. So basically, just my advice in general.
Can you blame him though? His name is Rocco, man. They kind of sealed his fate the day they named him.
Well, I'm not shifting the blame on Rocco here. I'm just saying my advice to everybody in general during the coronavirus is to do the opposite of Rocco. Everything. Don't do any of that. Don't target people just trying to stay clean. Instead, be like the island nation of Taiwan, who even though they are right off China's coast, like right next to it, they only have 329 total cases and less than 10 total deaths, 5, I think. And they're shipping the U.S. and Europe millions of masks because they have extras and they're just awesome. So don't be like Rocco, be like Taiwan.
How about it?
Nice Taiwan.
Yeah. You do need people to show you what not to do. So Rocco is kind of doing us a service.
Right. Yeah. Great example.
Yeah. All right, guys. Really, really bad news for Wes here. The FDA, or the Food and Drug Administration, is requesting that manufacturers pull all prescription and over-the-counter ranitidine drugs off of the shelves and off of the market immediately. Not today, not tomorrow, but right fucking now. This absolutely includes Wes's favorite over-the-counter drug, Zantac.
That bad, huh?
Yeah.
Wes, how much Zantac do you have sitting in your pantry right now?
I know. I've blown through it. That was the acid reducer. I'm now having to deal with acid controllers, which are supposed to take like before you eat, which I oftentimes don't remember to do, but they still help a little bit. But I'm pretty much off the ranitidine since I ate it all, basically.
That's good. I hope you
can't get it anymore. Basically,
I hope you ate it all quickly after you. We'll get to it. I hope after you bought it, you ate it pretty quickly. You see, there's a contaminant that is a human carcinogen or something that can cause cancer, which is N-nitrosidimethylamine, or NDMA. That is found in ranitidine, and the FDA has...
NDMA? Like
almost. NDMA, almost. So, yeah, very confusing. If you want to have a good time, do some MDMA. If you want to die, have some NDMA. So it's found in ranitidine. The FDA has just gotten to the bottom of this because they've only been investigating ranitidine since summer of 2019.
Yep.
So not very long where they were looking into this.
Mm-hmm. I think Zantac's been around for like 20 years.
Yeah, they weren't even checking it, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. So they found that most samples, though, this is the good side, Wes, don't freak out yet. Mm-hmm. They found that most samples of over-the-counter Zantac had very low levels of NDMA, so it was like not harmful to humans or a concern. But that's when they tested it when it was freshly made. What they then found is that this quickly changes over time. The longer the Zantac pills just sit around and aren't in your body dissolving, and ranitidine's just the longer ranitidine's stored and not consumed, greatly increases the amount of NDMA, as well as hot temperatures. So if you store
I'm pretty sure I have a roll of
Zantac
at the bottom of my console in my car that's been there since like 2010.
Throw it out.
That's like poison.
Yeah, and Wes used to keep his Zantac under his pillow, so it's like super hot.
I was getting hot and old. It wasn't sticking around long in my house.
Yeah, Wes sounds like he's fine. He was popping these babies.
Yeah,
2 a day right away.
Like orange Tic Tac.
Yeah,
exactly.
But yeah, if you have old Zantac, anyone listening, old anything with ranitidine in it, throw it the fuck out. Yeah, do that now. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the FDA said don't return your medicines to a drug take-back location, but rather follow disposal instructions in the medication guide if you're an absolute lunatic. Just throw it away.
Just throw it in the trash.
Just throw it in the trash. It's not like it's radioactive. Just throw it in the fucking trash.
Put it with the paint cans.
Yeah.
Right in the trash.
Straight trash. This was coming, guys. Longtime listeners may remember back in September when we warned Wes that CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart announced they would no longer sell Zantac because there was a concern of NDMA. Fast forward, 6 months, the research is fully in, and now it's bad.
Kind of like the China numbers thing.
Yes, exactly.
You knew it. And then now
it was coming, and now you know how bad it is. Yeah, okay. The drug maker also Sanofi of Zantac and I guess other ranitidine project, mainly Zantac, is they in October of 2019 did a voluntary recall, not mandatory. They said the recall was due to inconsistencies in preliminary test results. Right, just like those inconsistencies in the Boeing Max test results.
See, it's not normal that it crashes. This is an inconsistent test result.
Right.
Most of the time they don't.
We don't want to take it all the way off the market. It's just because it's inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
Prilosec, Pepcid, AC, Nexium, they're fine, Wes.
Yeah. I'm off it.
All right.
Good to hear. Great.
Cool.
You know what I've learned from doing this show is that you could always trust what a major corporation and government tells you. Right?
Yeah.
You could just take it to the bank,
For sure. They're never trying to. Hey, do you guys want to go and talk to a fucking hero?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We have a surprise interview.
I could use some hero in my life.
Can't we all use a little bit of hero? We have a surprise interview with Canaan Bauer, the 16-year-old, soon-to-be 17-year-old hero of New Mexico that took out the creep that was trying to kidnap 3 kids. Here's Canaan. All right. Welcome to the show. Very special guest, Canaan Bauer of Mayfield High School, district champion, the hero that tackled that guy that tried to abduct like 3 kids the other week in New Mexico. Canaan, welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Awesome. So what the hell happened?
Oh, well, it was just a normal day. I was going to get gas and finished getting gas. Went inside, got a drink, and when I came back out, something caught my attention, and it was something across the street because I heard screaming. So I was looking and seeing what was going on. And at first I thought it was just people playing, like kids that get out of a car, start playing around, screams. But she kept on screaming, and she had a baby, and there was a guy, and she was trying to avoid him. So I just hopped in my truck and hauled ass over there, and by the time I got there, they had already went inside. And yeah.
So yeah,
Canaan, the rest.
So was it gas station across the street from a different gas station?
Yeah.
Is this correct? Yeah.
And watching the video, so the woman was outside of the store, inside of the store. Her kid, you were inside. Give us like the kind of the lay of the land spatially.
Yeah, there was. I can't. It all happened pretty fast. I remember there's a couple people outside, and there's that one guy who's covered in blood holding the door closed, and.
Yeah, the guy, he got his ass beat by the piece of shit at first. And then he ran out of the gas station and pushed the door closed so he couldn't get out.
Was Daniel Arroyo Beltran, is who we're hearing it was the guy that you ended up subduing? Was he armed at all? Was he like? Did he have
no, he wasn't. I was worried he was though. He didn't use anything. I don't know if he had anything in his pockets or anything, but I don't think he was.
Canaan, what song was playing in your truck while you were driving from the first gas station to the next gas station?
My radio didn't have time to connect.
Oh no, that quick.
Well, what was playing after you left once it was all over?
I don't know. I didn't think I was listening to music for like a couple hours after that.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
I was just driving silently.
So this guy, he was trying to take away this woman's children or abduct the children. That's what was his intention?
Not too sure. That's what it looked like. But
and
I think
yeah,
so.
Yeah, you didn't stop and ask him, did you? I was a heavyweight wrestler back in high school myself.
Nice.
So I was wondering,
best weight class.
That's what I'm talking about. and I was wondering what moves did you? I was thinking maybe a cement mixer you put on this guy. I don't what did you go with when you got?
Well,
got your
that's the thing. A bunch of people keep asking me that same question. What move did I use on him?
Yeah,
and it wasn't really a move that I was taught or like I practiced. It was just more of a reaction,
Sure. So what did you end up doing with? Did you just tackle him, kind of? Or?
Sort of. He was facing away from me, trying to kick down the door, and so I ran up from behind him, and I immediately got like kind of a head and arm, sort of.
Okay. Nice.
And then I pulled him out. I dragged him out into the open area of the store, and I pulled him down onto his back.
There you go.
So, Canaan,
it was kind of like a snap sort of from behind.
Yeah. So, you got the head control, but you were even in a better position because you were behind. So, you had dead to rights. And you just...
So he was...
Yeah, exactly.
He was trying to get out the door. He was... You guys were both in the store at the time when you first embraced him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was trying to kick down a door to get to where those girls were hiding.
Holy shit.
Okay, wow.
Now, when you were laying on top of him, was he able to like be like, get off me? Or like, was he said anything?
Yeah. He was trying to he'd say normal stuff. He was cussing me out, saying let me go, all that stuff. But I just squeezed him a little tighter, and he gave up.
He's not a heavyweight wrestler, is he? No. He
couldn't Did he try to bite you?
No, he didn't do nothing. The only thing he tried to do was push my face away. And he tried that one time. That was it. And he wasn't successful.
What was going through your head? Because it's like obviously you're training all season, working with other wrestlers normally, and most people want to avoid a physical altercation. But obviously, maybe was it the situation that you could tell was dire that motivated you to like really get in there and physically subdue this guy? Or tell us what was going through your head, what you were thinking.
Well, I had a million different thoughts in my head at the time. Like as I was hopping on track, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I gonna go over across the street and all this, like all these thoughts, like what if this, all these what ifs. But my body just kind of did it, you know. I didn't really have a choice. My body was going there whether I wanted to or not, you know.
Yeah. So awesome. Are you a sophomore? Is that correct?
I'm a junior.
Junior. Okay, so you won districts 3A to 5A. That's the big schools. We were in one of those.
Yeah, it was 5A.
Schools.
That's the one that my school's in.
There you go.
Nice.
The big schools. Who did you lose to in states, and were you thinking of him when you slammed this idiot?
Don't get me started on state. That's
well, you got another crack next year. You can use this as motivation.
Right.
Yeah, definitely will.
Yeah.
Right, and you guys set up like a GoFundMe, right, for people who wanted to donate. Will that go towards wrestling training? You got your eyes on the state championship next year?
Yeah, I'm not too sure right now, but there's a GoFundMe out there. There's a whole bunch of people making fake accounts though.
Oh,
it's terrible. We saw a few of them. It's pretty terrible. Yeah.
Oh man.
Canaan, what did the guy smell like? Was he a scrungy guy? Was he dirty and grimy?
I wasn't smelling them.
What happened after you got there when the cops got there?
Well, how long did it take for the cops to get there?
It was probably 5 minutes. I was holding them down.
Damn.
Oh, nice.
So
someone said longest pin in history.
Yeah, that's the longest pin in history.
Right? Was he fighting for all 5?
No. Maybe for 5 seconds,
Yeah,
and he gave up.
So he must have been talking shit to you because it's like.
Oh yeah, he was. But as soon as I pinned him, put him on his back, and established control, he gave up. That was it. He didn't talk anymore. He was.
You know pretty well. Well, it could have got worse for him. He knows.
How did you do it? Did you get up on your toes and just put the chest into him pretty much, and just put all the weight in there?
When I was holding him down?
Yeah.
No, I didn't put a lot of weight on him like I would in the match. I just kind of put my hips down so he wouldn't roll me over or nothing like that.
Oh, wow. So you were able to hold him down.
That's impressive.
Like that.
How big do you think he was? You think he's under 200 pounds?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He was maybe 150.
What are you weighing in at?
About 270.
Yeah, big boy. Big boy.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson. That's a good lesson for the
Below the
criminals.
weight
They
class.
don't know when Canaan's walking around. You know, you don't know what's around, so you got to watch out. Behave.
Canaan, how's your local dating prospects going right now after you became a straight up hero and came out of nowhere? Like, are the ladies texting you? Or are you is there a girl you have your eye on that is going to be a little bit easier to get her to the dance this year, or what?
Yeah, actually, I have a girlfriend. I've had a girlfriend before this event, but there has been some people that texted me saying, "Oh, you're really nice," and a bunch of all this stuff.
Lots of attention.
Yeah, a lot of girls text me.
So are you saying that are you bummed that you have that girlfriend, or are you like
No.
What about have any colleges reached out? You know, been like, hey, we saw you on the news. We want to offer you a scholarship or something for wrestling, or just because of the good deed you did?
To my knowledge, I haven't heard any.
Okay.
Well, what the hell?
That's coming.
That's lots of people listening to this show that are in positions of power at athletic universities. We got to get Canada.
Multiple-time district champion though, 5A, and probably I'm going to just say at least state semifinalist next year. That's going to be a scholarship.
Yeah.
So what happened with state this year was basically I went to state and I did pretty well. I made it back to the second day.
Uh-huh.
I was the only one on my team who won at all. Everyone else lost, and
That's good.
I was the only one in the district who made it to the second day in heavyweight.
Nice.
That's
awesome.
But
that first match, I was beating this kid. I was one match away from going into the 5th and 6th placing round.
From the placing,
yeah. And I was beating him by points and kind of physically too.
Mm-hmm.
But right at the end, I was going to throw him, and I don't know what happened, but I blinked and I was on my back.
He slipped,
Is he
a quick pin? That was it.
Is he a senior?
Yeah, that's all it takes.
I don't know.
He's
Well,
behind you,
I've
Ken. It
been
doesn't matter. He's dead to you now.
You got another year. That's pretty good that you went that far in the state tournament in your junior year, because then you got senior year. You're going to be even stronger next year. Don't worry about it. You got it.
On the note of people reaching out, what else has been going on? You've been doing a bunch of interviews. I know your parents are proud of you.
Oh yeah.
What's the reaction been like? You're in New Mexico, right?
Yeah, I am.
Where in New Mexico?
Las Cruces.
Oh, you're in Las Cruces. Yeah. What's been the reaction both nationally and locally?
Oh, it's crazy. I'm kind of like a local hero, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so everywhere I go, I get recognized by people.
That's awesome. You're like had the opposite week of John Jones in New Mexico. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, Canaan, let's tell people how they can get to the real GoFundMe before we wrap this up.
The real GoFundMe, it's on, what was it, Dad? It's on my dad's Facebook page.
Okay.
That's Troy Bauer.
Troy Bauer as the GoFundMe, and I think that we'll get the link and we'll get that out there and put it in our blog and stuff. So
that's the real one. That's the real one.
We'll put it in the blog. We saw some of the fake ones, and they had like terrible spellings and shit. It was just terrible.
Yeah, there's even like a fake account on Instagram and stuff like that.
Oh man!
Now that you're not on social media, correct? Currently,
I am. I have Instagram, but the one that this guy was, it wasn't mine.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Canaan, now that you've checked Hero off your list, what's next for you?
Play it by ear, just live my day as I would before.
Man, it sucks that school is out because you would just straight up be crushing it right now. You'd be PMOC all day long. I know handshakes are out, but you'd be getting elbows all day long.
That's a good point. Now, do you play Call of Duty? Do you want to join Pat's Call of Duty squad?
I actually, the last people I talked to, they were kind of weirded out by it, but I don't own a video game. I only have my phone.
Don't worry about it. Me neither. I only want to own it because my son wants it.
More time to kick ass.
I'll be a clan of one for a couple more, for more days. It's okay.
Yeah, more time to practice your sprawl.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Canaan. That was awesome.
I'm telling you, man, Canaan would just be such a BMOC if school was in session. But
doesn't that suck? You were right, Pat. You were right about that. Like, this is his time, but that shit's gonna run over to next year.
No, I know. Dude, forever. He's
still a legend. Yeah,
when he gets to college,
a legendary story.
His senior year is gonna be phenomenal.
Oh my god, bro! And he's got a truck. He's 16. He has a truck, and he's a hero. And he's a unit.
Someone needs to give that, like Ford or Chevy, or someone needs to give that guy a brand new truck.
Hey, why? And if there are any listeners out here that have any connections to NCAA sports, why the hell has Canaan not gotten a scholarship offer yet? Come on, guys. He's 270.
He'll get in there. He's still got his senior year. He's gonna do well in that senior year tournament. I can feel
That's right. All right, guys, let's move on to CBD. Countless products promise to promote wellness, drastic diets, extreme fitness routines, over-the-top supplement regimens. The list never ends. Who says taking care of yourself needs to be so hard? It doesn't. What's great about CBD is that it helps you feel better without making drastic changes to your routine. Meet Caliper, a better way to consume CBD. Way better than those droppers that taste like shit, tinctures that taste like shit for the most part.
Yeah.
You get all the benefits of CBD in a tasteless, dissolvable powder that your body absorbs more rapidly, so you can feel better naturally without upending your lifestyle. Again, I cannot recommend enough. At night, a little sleepy time tea, mix in a CBD packet in there, and you are on a train to Chillville, my friend. It dissolves right in the glass of water instantly, minimal stirring.
Talk about, Wes, upending your lifestyle. One of those other tinctures that's not Caliper really does upend your lifestyle. It does not taste good. Bad enough to the point where it upends your 30 minutes there. So.
Yeah, it's like eye drops for your tongue, but like
Caliper
painful
tastes
ones.
great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Tinctures are very concentrated. Yeah.
But couldn't we also use? We could all use some good sleep right now too.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely, and this does help getting sleep. It's Caliper is not only great for snoozing, Pat, and relaxing, but it's also great for muscle aches after a long day of watching TV or working out. Caliper is the first to provide consistent, convenient, and precise CBD in a water-soluble powder. Just mix in with any food or drink and enjoy the benefits. No weird taste, no oily residue or mouthfeel. Caliper gives you all the benefits of CBD in just 15 minutes. That's about twice as fast as CBD oil, and it's clinically proven that your body absorbs 450% more CBD with Caliper compared to tinctures.
Good.
Yeah, that's a lot more. Caliper CBD comes in affordable 10 and 30 count packs. You can get started for under $20. Unlike some products out there, Caliper is completely THC free. All the goodness of CBD with no high. So if you're worried about a little testy test, don't worry about it. Get 20% off the first order when you use promo code FACTOR at trycaliper.com/factor. Caliper is so sure you'll love the product, they even offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's trycaliper.com/factor. Don't forget promo code FACTOR for 20% off your first order.
So I'm not a doctor or scientist, and I don't think that I'm allowed by Caliper to say this, but if it's 20 milligrams a packet and 450%, you get more, 450% more. It's like kind of the equivalent of getting like an 90 milligram packet for the price of a 20 milligram packet, plus you get the 20%
Oh, yeah.
off.
Well, you could definitely feel the effects of this stuff much quicker than you
Seems
can
like
in other
pretty
CBD
good
products.
deal. Also, Pat brought up a huge point about sleeping. I think that what a year to be in a coma 2020 would be, right?
It'd be the best.
Talk about
the best.
Talk about lucking out. Usually comas are bad, not for 2020. Yeah,
you check out. Speaking of stuff that helps you check out, a recent New York Times article, guys, profiles a number of companies in the cannabis industry that are using science to try and make the perfect high.
Yes.
Yes. It's pretty good here,
the perfect
right?
high, you say, huh?
Yes.
Yep. The actual thing that scientists are studying is the effect that terpenes have on the high that you get from THC. Terpenes as well as other chemicals that are just naturally in cannabis. So one American neurologist and presumable pothead, Ethan Russo, started exploring how weed affects the human brain back in 1996 while he was writing a book on herbs.
Yeah, at age 12.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly. Checking it out.
We all started exploring that, you know.
Yeah,
I know.
I was writing a book in my mind.
How to get out of town when you don't have a car. Anyway, he was writing this book on herbs, and it explored terpenes in weed. And those terpenes, just so you guys know, that's the stuff that makes weed smell dank or like piss or like ammonia or like
Flavor,
fruit.
basically.
Yeah, right. And then he was exploring that there was a correlation between the way that your bud smells and the high it gives you, which may be actually real because of terpenes, right? Like we've always known the weed dealer that you had in high school was like, bro, smell this, smell this. But you'd be like, it's gonna make you feel just like this, and like you're so high you don't know, and then that's it on the weed, and then you get a different weed, and then you can't. There's no control in the experiment. But anyway, this guy was checking out terpenes because they were having quote major modulatory effect on THC. So during his tedious experiment, Dr. Russo found that ingesting pure THC or THC alone made things quote really hard to function on. Recounting a time where he took a binger of just straight THC and then was unable to make dinner for his family. But you throw
then he was Dr. Couch Cushion.
That's called like that's called accidental Tuesday. That's just a normal thing.
Yes and no, but it's yes.
Whoa,
but
I took too much edibles again. Whoops.
Right, Will, but the point is you're not consuming pure
Come
THC.
on, give me a break, guy.
Yeah.
But why you should like what Dr. Russo and the rest of these cats are doing is because you're consuming THC with terpenes in it, and sometimes it can still have a negative effect. Probably more rarely for you, Will, than others because you're used to the effects. But a lot of people can have a bad time on weed.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Was that hit pure THC? I thought it might have been.
It's got to react with your own personal brain chemistry, though, right? Pat's
It also has to do with that, Wes. It also has to do with that.
It's got to be for the individual.
Right.
Yes.
So how can you
exactly.
you can't really do that, can you?
There is some consistency across humans, and that's what they're trying to do. They're essentially trying to be like, yo, this weed will make you feel just like this. And it might be some slight variation based upon your brain chemistry, but like you can smoke it, feel that way, and then know that if you smoke it 5 years later, you're going to feel that same way or get roughly the same effects. And that's all about the terpenes, guys.
It's like finding your favorite strain, though, basically, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's
yes,
the same
but
thing.
still to this day, you could find a strain that you love,
But
and
even better,
technology.
Wes. Yeah.
The technology to keep it consistent does not really exist yet.
okay.
Wes,
And I'm just
Even
I'm just
better.
asking some questions.
even
Right.
better.
Just trying to get
Right.
to the bottom of this because
So what they're saying is that potentially you could ensure that you could standardize like marijuana to the point where you'd have the exact cannabinoid profile, the exact terpene profile for exactly what you wanted, for exactly what's perfect for you. But to me, that's a bunch of bullshit because marijuana is a plant. And that's part of it. It comes from a plant. You're gonna get a crop, right? No matter what flavor you're smoking, whether it's a vape or it's a flower or whatever, you got it from a crop from a guy who grew it or woman, and then they extracted the crystals off of the plant for you if you're gonna do it in a concentrate, or they just dried it for you, and then that's what you get because it's a fucking plant at the end of the day. And I think that like it's a little ridiculous to say that like. You can't just can't that be good enough? Like
it's pretty good.
Thousands of varieties of the plant. Why do you have to have it exact like this?
Well, let me further explain. Let me further explain one thing.
It's great right now.
let me make sure this is very, very completely clear, right? So, Will, you might have a strain of marijuana that you love, right? And you pretty generally know how it makes you feel, and because you're in a legal state, you can buy that strain regularly.
But I know it's going to be different from time to time because it's going to be a different plant.
Right, and all companies are working on the general consistency of it. But as you said, sometimes you might take some marijuana and you might get stuck, right? Or like, we've all taken marijuana usually while eating it and had really paranoid effects happen to us,
greened
right?
out.
They're trying to
City.
completely eliminate those. So that one bad time that you might have out of 100 would never happen.
That's impossible, though, because you could still try, even with this dialed up dose or whatever, you could still try one that sounds good to you, but turns out isn't good for your brain once you take it.
Yeah, doesn't it also depend on what activity you're doing, what else you have in your body, like
your
alcohol
fucking mood.
or other stuff, your mood? See,
Yeah.
I like where they're going, but I think it is impossible. I think that they should.
That's what I'm saying.
How you can do it is a baseline test. Like, you do all this, and every single time it's like around the same time of day with around the same amount of food or whatever in your system and around the same mood, and you watch like Point Break, right? Like every single time. So you have like all these different strands and doses on Point Break, and then you find the one that you enjoy Point Break the most at, and that's like, okay, that's my weed.
But then you're having the
it's like the perfect wave.
Fatigue. You're getting fatigue. You're Point Break fatigue. You can't
well,
do that many
you don't get Point Break fatigue. That's the beauty about Point Break. It's rewatchable.
Oh, it's possible
to complete. And there's
any
no
movie
extent.
is possible.
I'm watching Point Break tonight.
But hey, Mark, to expand upon your Point Break analogy, right?
Yeah.
So that's one way you could find the strain of weed that you like, right?
Yes.
But imagine, okay, so you find that weed, you lock in on that strain, right? But then maybe you take a shit ton of it one day, and then you don't like it because it's got negative effects if consumed in the wrong way, right?
Okay.
But that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen with the science that they're developing. Why are you guys complaining?
No,
you guys don't want
bullshit.
You guys don't want a better drug? You don't want
Because
No,
it's
I'm in.
bullshit.
I'm
I've
in.
smoked enough weed to know that you could have a little or a lot, and if you have a lot of any of it and you have too much, you're going to have a bad time. It doesn't matter what kind it is.
I am gonna get high tonight and watch Point Break.
Yes,
Thank you, Pat.
Absolutely. Very different high than another Catherine Bigelow movie, Hurt Locker.
Ooh, God.
Yeah. Point Break
I don't wanna watch
first.
that
Trust
when
me.
you're stoned.
Let's take it to the internet, guys. Let's take it to the internet. Major bong
No,
hits.
wait, hang on. Wait a minute.
Yep.
What do you mean, Catherine Bigelow Point Break? What are you talking about?
She directed Point Break, bro.
The original?
The original Point Break. Catherine Bigelow, married to James Cameron at the time.
Holy shit.
I know. I think it was her second
Accomplished
movie.
director.
What did she do in between her? That's like a 15
She did a
20 year
vampire
gap?
movie first, then Point Break.
Then nothing for 22 years?
Something.
She
We'll have to
She
Google
have
that.
kids?
Okay.
Yeah, she did have kids.
There
I
it
think
is.
James
There
Cameron.
you go.
Well, those two movies enough. That's a career.
Yeah. All right, take it to the internet. Major Bong Hit says, sick. And Wake and Bake 4206969 says, nice.
But see, the thing about it is, could they make it into a plant, Pat? Did they answer
Yes,
that
it's
question?
going to be a plant. Well, that's my point. That's my point. They're trying to figure out how to make a plant that's both consistent and no matter how much of it you consume, you don't have a bad time. Also, they're getting very surgical with the feeling. So, like, you might have a weed that makes you giggly, and they can make sure that they pinpoint the giggle shit, and then you know that this is fucking giggle weed.
Giggle me up.
Sounds like they're trying to make a pill.
Will, this is very unchill of you, man.
Yeah, bro.
I'm with
Will,
skeptical
though.
of this.
I'm with Will.
I'm skeptical of
What are
this.
you talking about? Weed makes food and sex and exercise 100 times better.
Yeah,
and
it
they're trying to
does.
make that 100 times better.
It does, but weed's already great, and
Well,
it's
not hurting anything.
Well,
It's
then we
like,
should
it's
just
not-
let it be.
Yeah, it's not like they're taking the current weed away, Will.
Let's not innovate.
It'll
Let's-
still exist.
I don't want to come harder.
Yeah, Pat, I'm with you.
Cumming's fine.
Yeah.
I don't
want
want.
to come harder.
We'll see.
This missionary position's good enough.
It's great for me. It's
great.
I'll
All
ride
right.
this out for the next 20 or 50 years.
Well, I don't know about that, but what I do know about is how you should be gambling with no sports on, and that's by going to Predict It. All right, guys? Remember to go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched in the stock market of politics. And I want to do a quick lightning round of markets for you here that you can bet on since there's no sports, like I was saying. Might as well make a little scratch somewhere else. So, first market, will Wisconsin postpone It's primaries. We've got DMs from listeners saying it's on for sure from people in the state. We've also got other folks in the media saying that it's going to be put off. So
and
I'm going with the Hive.
A federal judge, right before we started.
I don't think it's
going to
happen. Yeah.
Now,
saying,
I'm going
no,
with the Hive and going with no, they will not delay. You guys are saying yes, they will
Pat
delay.
and I are opposed to you again.
I went all in. I read some stuff too. I went all in that it will be postponed. The Democrats are splitting from the governor.
I saw that.
And Bernie Sanders is calling it for it to be postponed. People are quitting the polling stations left and right. They're not going to have enough fucking workers. I think it's going to eventually get postponed. I've got it all riding on.
It's only going to get worse in cities. It's only going to get worse with COVID-19 in Wisconsin. With all the press saying suspend it now, it's just there's really no reason to not. Where they're going to be like,
all right,
haha, we only had 80 deaths.
It's really hard for Wisconsiners to socially distance because they're a very friendly people.
Very friendly. I'm going with the friendliness. I'm going with the Hive, who tells me it's on. They're out, boots on the ground, so I'm going with it. All right. Well, that's 3-1. I've got your backs, listeners. All right. Next up, Vice President market. Who is Joe Biden going to pick as his VP? And guys, we were on the Luckbox podcast. We did an interview with
political trade podcast.
The political trade podcast.
Yes.
For the Luckbox guys. We talked about this. I'm still going with my combo of the long shot of Liz Warren and Michelle Obama. That's 8 cents total to buy that. Why
are you wasting your money with Michelle Obama?
Because I think Biden wants that Biden-Obama.
She doesn't want any part of it.
Yeah, I think it's a big
waste of time. She's been hearing stories for a decade about how crazy this guy is. She doesn't want to work with him from her husband.
I doubt that.
If you're Michelle Obama and you're a powerful ass lady, would you go work
Joe,
for
you wouldn't believe what Joe said today.
A guy that used to work for your husband? No, I don't think so.
She's been hearing horror stories about Joe.
I don't know. They want to keep power.
I know Joe would like it, but it's not going to happen.
No. Joe would love to have Obama around.
Well,
it's 3-1 against you again. We're all the same, right? Klobuchar.
You're on Klobuchar?
I dumped my Klobuchar today to buy into Wisconsin. After Wisconsin pays out, I'm going back in on Klobuchar.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. What'd you make on Klobuchar? I know you said you were up grands.
I made probably $1,800 on Klobuchar.
Ooh. Very nice.
I think I got it at like 6 cents.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't like that Klobuchar, but maybe it'll happen. And then the top dog himself, it's going to be a him, it looks like. Is it going to be Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Bernie Sanders in the general election? 50 cents Trump, 42 Joe Biden, 4 cents Bernie Sanders.
Oh, I mean, I'd say Trump all the way.
Trump.
Yeah. That's what I got my money on. I mean, Biden seems overpriced at 42 unless you think he's going to steamroll Trump.
A lot of people don't think Trump's going to win. And when I say people, I don't mean the public. I mean people in the know. And I haven't heard their explanation for why, because I feel like generally it seems most evident to me that Trump would win. I mean, we're going to have to see what the hell happens with the rest of this coronavirus stuff, because he is at the ultimate test right now.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in the no matter what, the country's going to be in one of the most fucked up situations it's ever been in at the end of his presidency and facing some of the most adversity we've ever faced. So I don't know.
Biden is but Biden in his basement. Good God.
Biden's like an old. He's like an old bike sitting out in the rain.
Yeah.
You know what happens. You know what happens to that.
I mean, I have one last one for you.
Well, hold on. Before we move on from that market, I would say, Pat, because of what you said, Trump right now is at 50 cents. He will go down because there's no way that he's going to stay 50 or higher throughout this whole coronavirus thing. So
right,
I think,
April's tough.
If you think he's going to win in the end, no matter what, I think buying on a low swing would be a good move and watching his stock price right now. And then Biden, I would say the same thing. I mean, see if his at-home press conferences will push him down in the 30s. Somewhere like that, if you think he's going to win.
He's running out of stuff to do, Will, because so he said he's not debating anymore because his brain is slipping, and then he keeps fucking up these press conferences.
He didn't say it's because of that. He just
I know, but why? Yeah, and then he's fucking up these press conferences. He's running out of options of things to do to communicate with the world.
Well, and what he's settled on is live broadcast from home, which really, 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 he didn't realize this, but really show off if you don't know how to do them.
The two biggest thing with the Joe Biden supporters are he's the best guy to beat Trump, and he's a great guy behind the scenes. He's not great at talking in public, but he gets things done behind.
How is that great for a president?
Nobody
gives a fuck
those are two
about
arguments
that.
for him, though.
Okay. Well,
I got to mark it.
Oh, yeah.
Texas Republican general election. Republicans win that one. It's at like 70 cents right now that you can make 30 cents a share. There's no way that Joe Biden wins the state of Texas in the 2020 election.
No. You got to keep an eye on the scandal that happened in the Texas legislature recently, which I think still has some ripple effects that are going to happen with the Republican Speaker of the House using the F word against some other colleagues.
Doesn't matter. Beto O'Rourke couldn't beat Ted Cruz. Bernie Sanders couldn't beat Joe Biden.
And Ted Cruz got beat by Trump.
Texas is going red again.
Yeah, I mean,
it's only 70 cents. I don't know why it's not 95 cents.
If you drive outside of Austin, about 50% of American flags are accompanied by a Trump flag.
Yeah, by a Trump flag.
Yeah. Let us not forget about Ann Richards, guys. Let us not forget about Ann Richards.
That was several decades ago. Don't forget to go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched on us in the stock market of politics, and then you can get your picks in as well. Pat, by the way, you didn't give your presidential pick. Is it Bernie?
Man, I'm holding off on all the markets right now because I'm just I think I'm confused because right now it's like there's no movement can really be made unless Bernie does something exceptional. So it's kind of everything's just kind of paused.
Yeah.
Well, and hey, before we get going, I want to shout out today. You can hear us on the Political Trade podcast where they go into more depth about trading with Predictit. Shout out to Jeff and Mike from Luckbox Magazine for having us on. We appreciate that. So go check out their podcast, and you can hear some more, in-depth political trading. And then,
Yeah, and they're going to put us in. That's our first feature-length article. They're going to put us in their magazine.
Yeah, Luckbox.
Coming out in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. April Fool's was pretty much canceled this year because everyone's mind is in an extremely fragile place because 2020 is a queef on wheels. But some people didn't get the memo. Actually, pretty punny little intro there because this April Fool's Gone Wrong story is about a memo. A citywide finest message, right? Didn't get the memo. And then, next sentence, it's about a memo. A citywide finest message was sent out to everyone in the NYPD. I guess that's what they use. That's the term they use for their official email memos, finest messages. And everyone in the NYPD got it. And it said that starting April 8th, all officers, sergeants, detectives, and lieutenants would move to 12-hour work shifts.
That sucks.
Right.
Why would they have to do that?
Well, I mean,
short on staff.
Obvious reasons. Well, but they aren't on 12-hour shifts yet. The order appeared official. That is until the very bottom sentence, which read, "Chart schedule effective on April motherfucking Fool's Day." So they had to read the whole 2-page memo and stress about working longer shifts in a week, and then someone dropped a MF bomb. Said it was April Fool's at the very end of the thing.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
You know who sent that? Is the person who complains that nobody reads their emails.
Potentially, Will. I have a theory, but that's not a bad theory. This did not go over well with a lot of people, though, as there have already been rumors of and a fear of moving to 12-hour shifts for those obvious reasons of coronavirus. Right. So this was not well received. It was a little bit below the belt. Some people said stuff like cops have nothing better to do than scare other cops, said one anonymous officer. This is such a serious pandemic, and to make a joke when people are getting seriously ill and officers are on edge is wrong. This isn't a time to be joking around, said Sergeant Joe Imperatrice. That's a pretty crazy name.
Joe sounds like he does not
Joe
mess
Importance.
around.
Yeah. He's also the founder of Blue Lives Matter in New York City. So this is a serious man.
Gets invited nowhere.
Yeah. Well, that's my next guy, and Wes, my theory. You don't joke about that. Something like that where it looks really real. Because he's referring to how the memo was the finest message and real. This was from the police commissioner.
That's the point of an April Fool's joke or a prank.
Exactly.
You want
Correct.
it to be as good and real seeming as possible because
Correct.
you want to get a certain result from it.
Yep.
Joe,
Yeah, exactly. The email, the person that wants them to read their emails more closely got their point across.
Like, do you guys remember the best? Like, it's like that guy who made that great website that semen can help prevent breast cancer, and it's like He took his time and made sure that it looked really real. And you know, thank you for that.
Wow. That's a good one. So that last one, it looks really real, and you shouldn't joke about that, was from the police commissioner, the top guy, Dermot Shea. And here's where I'm starting to think about things. The prank came out and was time-stamped 1 hour after Commissioner Dermot Shea said in a live press conference that they weren't yet there in terms of moving to 12-hour shifts. But the department has said if enough cops fall ill that they will.
Yeah, it was his idea.
So I'm thinking that they pranked the commissioner because they fucking hate him. Whoever did this is my guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you think they were trying to make
him
seem
look
like
a
the
jackass?
Commissioner?
Yes, make him look like an idiot. Make it look like 1 hour later he flip flopped. I think that potentially.
Maybe so. I think it's a dual motive. They also wanted to read the emails more seriously, so it's a studious person.
We have some NYPD listeners. You can send us anonymous DMs. We won't say, but let us know if you guys all hate the commissioner. Or what?
Yeah, definitely.
If he was framed for a horrible April Fool's joke.
Is there ever time when April Fool's is not appropriate?
No.
I mean,
now's the perfect time for this shit.
I think
apparently now.
I thought it was. I thought that this year should have been the best April Fool's ever, and it was upsetting to me that there was no. You know, High Times had a good one. The cannabis cup. They said that they'd arranged a cannabis cup in North Korea.
Oh. Are they the only people that did April Fools? I don't know. And that's going to do
the only one that had a good one that I saw.
Yeah. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Tomorrow is Florida Man Friday, right? I think. I have no idea what fucking day it is.
I think that's the right day.
Yesterday, I believe, was What the Fuck Wednesday. I'm like, that's how I can kind of tell.
This is a Thursday episode.
Yeah, so that means tomorrow is Florida Man Friday. So that's good. And Friday night, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we're taking on the Bustin' with the Boys crew. NFLers Will Compton, Taylor Lewan, and 2 other members of the Boys crew. They might bring in some surprise people. They might bring in some interns. We don't know. It's going to be 4-on-4. It's round 2 of Barstool Feud with your host, PFT Commenter. We got the audio worked out. It's going to be fucking electric. If we beat them, which we will, we are challenging the chicks. So tune in this Friday for Florida Man Friday, and then the Barstool Feud episode 2 that night. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Also, we're gonna get Big Ounce on the show either tomorrow or early next week. He ran out of weed. So thoughts and prayers to Big Ounce, please.
Times.
Yeah. Also, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We need them badly. I remember asking yesterday, and we got like 5 today. So please, on quarantine.
Maybe they were busy, Mark. Maybe the listeners had other things going on.
It's a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Buy a Lockdown Turn Up shirt if you got the funds, and most importantly, have a great fucking day.